to the Varkha Chulani Channel. I hope all of you watching are safe and well. In the last few days, there's been conversations about a show on matchmaking. There were varied ideas about what women want, what men want, what construes for beauty, whether we should give up our individuality when we choose life partnerships, whether when we marry families, or do we just restrict the relationship between the two partners. There were people right from Twitterati to the critics to the opinionists who had their perspectives. Another facet of the show was also, or what it defined as attractiveness. Is attractiveness about features, weight, height, body type? There were many aspects that were brought out in this show. In this episode, I want to talk about the science of attractiveness. Because yes, there is a science. Many a time when you ask two people what attracted them to each other, they will say they had chemistry. But what is this attractiveness? It ranges from anthropology to neuroscience, and it is about this science of attractiveness that I want to talk about in this show. There are many facets to attractiveness, but I picked up 3. Point 1. Headedness rather than heartedness, because it is very important for us to know the role of hormones in attraction. The brain releases dopamine. It is the reward center and makes us feel good. When we are attracted to someone, dopamine and norepinephrine are released by the hypothalamus and increases attractiveness to another. In fact, the hormone makes us feel giddy, exuberant, euphoric, and also sometimes reduces our appetite and leads to insomnia. So many a time when we fall in love, so to speak, we are not able to sleep and we also lose our appetite. So this chemistry is nothing but biochemical. Attraction is a biochemical or a hormonal aspect, which I think all of us need to understand and underscore. Point 2. Physical characteristics. Research has found that smell and body type are also very important parameters to attractiveness. In fact, research studies showed that when women were exposed to t-shirts and to identify which kind of smell they preferred, the studies concluded that where DNA was exactly opposite theirs, the women found those t-shirts to be much more alluring for them. About body type. A waist to hip ratio is also another study conducted by a Dutch psychologist where blind men were given mannequins of 2 differing waist to hip ratio. Because these men were blind since birth, there was no real allusion to media or social definitions of what makes for beauty. But what did they find? These men were able to prefer the mannequins which had a waist to hip ratio of 0.7 rather than 0.84. It is also important to understand that women define men as handsome when they see broad shoulders and strong jaw lines. Why? Because that for them is a revelation of the hormone testosterone. What does that again teach us about attractiveness? That attractiveness is also biological. Comes 3. Culture. Many a time, different cultures define attractiveness in their own unique ways. Not only that, what may have been attractive for people in a certain culture today may change 10 years from now. But attractiveness is culture specific. In fact, in China, they did something called foot binding, where they tied the feet of young little girls to alter the appendages. Their definition of beauty and attractiveness was small, tender feet. This foot binding was also known as lotus feet. Take our own country for example, where fair is still beautiful. The minute you see a fair girl, you assume beauty with that girl. Never mind that if the features, the body type, the characteristics, the symmetry are not in place. All of this is very important for us to understand the sociological, the biological, and the chemical facets to attraction, because unfortunately, many of us personalize it when we are defined by these facets. To condemn people and rage about regressive thinking, about what makes for attractiveness is to completely forget the science behind attractiveness. Many of us feel self-loathe and self-hate when we are rejected because we don't fit certain stereotypical features of what makes for an attractive person. Many of us hate and condemn people who define others lacking features, lacking symmetry, lacking body type, and we feel extremely upset when we are told that maybe we would look slightly better if we were fitter. But remember, beauty does not only lie in the eyes of the beholder. There are many other facets to attractiveness simply than what you and me believe in. Thank you for watching the Varkha Chulani channel. If you like what you see, please do hit the like button. Please do share my video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and more importantly, stay desirable, at least to yourself. Till next week, it's goodbye and thank you.